Hi friends, and welcome to your pick a card. This is going to be the message that you need to hear now, channeled from your spirit guides and also my spirit guides, kind of working in tandem together to deliver a message that you just need to hear right now. So if you know how pick a cards work and you don't want to do part of the candle selection, you can go ahead and head to the timestamps down below. This is pile number 1, this is pile number 2, and this is pile number 3. So if you already know how these work, go ahead, head down to the timestamps and go to your pile. Now, if you need a little bit of a refresher or you want some time to meditate on the cards or choose a candle, go ahead and stick with me for a moment. So let me go ahead. I'm going to put the candles out now. All right, so pile number 1 has a red candle, pile number 2 has a yellow candle, and pile number 3 has a blue candle. So if you're unfamiliar with pick a cards, allow me to explain. So you can sit and meditate on the cards, which I will give you time to do in just a moment. You can also choose based on candle colors. If one of them is your favorite color, maybe you feel drawn to it. Maybe you are feeling like you're vibrating on a certain color, so that's helpful. You can also go to the timestamps listed down below and see if your lucky numbers are in the timestamps, because that sometimes does happen. So you can check that. That is often a sign from spirit that that is going to be your pile. Sometimes it's also just a feeling, and maybe even when you looked at the thumbnail for this video, you already knew which pile you wanted to pick. And a few things to know about this is, number 1, you're never going to choose wrong. No matter which pile you pick, there's always going to be something in that pile that resonates. I promise, even if it is just like one card or the entire pile. Remember that this is a generalized reading, so sometimes it is only one card, sometimes it's the whole reading, sometimes it's multiple piles, depending on what you intuitively need right now. So just know that you're never going to choose wrong and that this is general. And then also, it is okay to choose more than one pile. I get asked this a lot, and you can choose all 3 piles. You can choose 1, you can choose 2 piles. It doesn't matter. If you feel called to multiples, that's okay. Some people will actually watch the video all the way through, and then that is how they will decide which one resonates with them best. So it is completely up to you and your intuition. Trust yourself, you know, and I'm going to go ahead and be quiet and allow you some time to meditate with the cards and candles. Hello there, pile number 1. If you chose this pile, this is going to be the message that you need now. So first and foremost, we are going to set an intention candle together. That's something I really like to do with my readings. So we did have the red candle with pile number 1. So if you chose this pile, we got lots of red going on today. I'm wearing a red sweater too. Feels very festive. But with this red candle, red represents the element of fire. So you can also think about fire signs, which is going to be your Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Those are the 3 fire signs. So you might find that you are one of those, or you want to attract one of those. Also, red can correspond to passion and romance at the same time. You can choose an intention based on any of those things, but you can also choose to just set your own for whatever you want. You don't have to go by the color. Those are just some suggestions. Red can also correspond to me to creativity and like passion in terms of like ambition too. So just keep that in mind as well. But go ahead and choose something that you want to bring into your life. And let's go ahead and put both of our hands over our heart center, because if you did not know, love is the highest vibrational frequency that we as humans can attune ourselves to. So when you're trying to manifest something or call it into your life, you really want to attach it to the frequency of love. So by placing your hands over your heart center and really taking a deep breath there, that's going to make that intention even stronger. So go ahead and hold on to your intention, and let's just take a deep breath together. Oh, that felt so good. I think I needed that. All right, let's go ahead and light this. and then we'll talk about it. Okay. I do feel like it started a little small today, and it's definitely leaning to one side. And I am really feeling that it is leaning to the right side, which the right side, if you didn't know, is the feminine side, the divine yeah, that's right, is the divine feminine side. So this to me says that whatever your intention is, you are going to attract it by tapping into your divine feminine. And that doesn't matter if you identify male, female, pan. It doesn't matter how you identify. Everybody has these energies in them. It's kind of like yin and yang energy as well, if you prefer those terms. But I'm really hearing that tapping into just the divine flow and letting things come to you naturally instead of trying to force them, which is funny because I feel like the color red really corresponds more to the masculine to me. So this also could be just a cue for you maybe to kind of balance those energies. Maybe you've been a little more in your divine masculine, a little more force, and it's time to let things flow to you easier. And I do see that the flame is getting very big. It's kind of hard to tell maybe from your angle, but the flame is like, oh, it's definitely like above average. Like it's a pretty good, like straight, well, it's a little tipped off to one side, but it's definitely a very strong flame. So that to me says that your intention will come in faster than normal. So I always say that that's like within the next couple of weeks usually. So let's go ahead and set this off to the side in our reading so we can still kind of keep an eye on it during the reading, but just kind of out of our way. And let's go ahead and see what the cards have to say for you, pile number 1. So right off the bat, we do have the Hanged Man. We're using a new deck today too, so this should be exciting. Ooh, look at that flame. Did you see that? It was like, it like flickered like crazy. We also have the Two of Wands. We also have the Ten of Pentacles. I think in this deck there it's like the Two of Gears or something, or the 10 of Gears, excuse me. And then we also have the Devil. Ooh, okay. So I feel like the message that you need to hear right now is many of you, I feel like, have kind of been in this standstill with life. You've been very like, just very kind of waiting for an answer to drop into your lap. And instead, it's kind of forced you to be on pause. And maybe that's kind of what this divine feminine is about that we talked about, is that maybe you need to put yourself on a brief pause and really consider your motives behind things. Because when we see the Devil now, some of you, this just means you're going to get freaky in the sheets, especially if you chose the red candle, okay? So some of you, it's coming. And you need to know that it's coming. But with the Ten of Pentacles beside the Devil, that really tells me the story of maybe having your motives set in money. And don't get me wrong, I am never going to be that person that says don't go after money. Girl, I am a sun and moon in Taurus. We are all about the house of personal finance on this channel, okay? I love money. I don't even try to hide that fact or pretend that that's not real. I love money. I love money and money loves me. But I do feel that if there's something you've been working towards, if money is your only motivation, you're kind of being asked to reframe and ask yourself what the clear motive is. And a good way to go about thinking about this or looking at this is ask yourself, if money didn't matter, if you had all the money in the world, right? If you had all the money in the world and money was no object, you didn't need to make it because it was just there. How would you spend your time every day if you didn't feel like you had to work hard for it? And I feel like that's actually a very common theme we're getting with this reading, because divine feminine energy is not about working hard. So it's asking yourself how you would spend your time. And if that's painting pictures by the beach, start painting pictures of the beach now. You know, think about those things that set you on fire. Is it reading books? Is it writing music? Is it, usually it tends to fall into a creative space for people, but not everyone. It's just really saying that, like, maybe your motives in something right now are not spot on, especially when it comes to finance. Now, some of you also will just be receiving some money soon, and that is a big part of it, because when we see a 10 of Pentacles, ultimately it is a very positive card for gaining a lot of money. And with the 2 of Wands here, this to me also says that maybe you have had to make some decisions. Twos usually do talk about decision making. But they also, especially with like wand energy though, it's about creativity and really starting to imagine what your life could be like. I think that message that I said, like, ask yourself what you'd be doing if money was no issue, because that's really what you're being asked right now. It's like, I feel like many of you maybe have had to financially struggle. And because of that struggle, you've had to make a lot of decisions that you're not happy with. And ultimately, to bring about the lifestyle you want, you kind of, it's almost like very paradoxical. Like, is paradoxical a word? It's a paradox though. It's like the more you want something, the less likely it is to come to you. The more on a pedestal you put it, the less likely you are to get it. You kind of have to take it off of that and just make it something that is neutral and natural for you to have. Now, obviously, it's very hard to do that if it's an experience you've never had, but it can be done. I'm telling you from even personal experience, it can be done. It just takes a little more time and a little more retraining of the subconscious. But with this, I really feel like Spirit, the big message is that you need to reconsider where your motives are. And this is a good time to do it. We just had Halloween pass, last month. For many people, not everyone, depending on how you celebrate, but for many people, Samhain or Halloween is the new year. It is the new year. And so it's a good time. Ooh, I just got goosebumps when I said that. It is a good time to reevaluate your strategies, your motives, maybe even come up with a 5-year plan. I feel like some people think that stuff is funny, like you shouldn't have your life all planned out. And it's funny, I was just having a conversation yesterday with somebody about this very thing. But it's okay to have plans for yourself and to make sure that they're in alignment with your highest good and the good of everyone involved. Also, for some of you, your guides just want you to know, be careful with signing contracts right now, because there might be some fine print that you're not seeing. Now let's go ahead and move forward. And so we also have the 7th house partners. It's funny that would come out right with the devil. We have the 10th house, the world. Love that. And we also have Pisces, I believe. I'm actually going to space these cards out a little bit more. I think they're a little cramped for my style. Okay. So yeah, this is interesting. I feel like kind of like what I just said, I think this is very career driven for a lot of you, because with the 10th house, the world, the 10th house is the career house. Capricorn rules the 10th house. Capricorn is like the business oriented go-getter. It's why I felt the need to mention ambition in this reading. Because if this is a career focused thing, also we have 2 10s, which is interesting too. And I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I want to say the devil might be a Capricorn card. If it's not, I will correct it in processing. But with the 10 here, the world, the 10th house, it's almost like, again, you need to get your motives straight. Especially those of you that are business building, because Capricorn, kind of the dark side of Capricorn, if we're going to go into that. Some of you might be Capricorns too, or have major Capricorn energy, which we stan on this channel. We love somebody who is business oriented and career focused. But the dark side of Capricorn is sometimes they can get their motives incorrect. And I have been at the brunt end of a Capricorn before, so I get it. I've seen it in action, a dark side of a Capricorn, where the dark side is social climbing, like using others or having incorrect motives to get to where they want to be, because their goals are the most important. And like I said, this is like the dark side of Capricorn. This is somebody that like maybe is vibrating at a lower frequency, or a non-evolved Capricorn. I don't necessarily think that's any of you beautiful, lovely people. But this also could be someone that you're just interacting with. It could be a Capricorn energy that maybe they're using you, actually, is what I am hearing. So be careful, especially if this is a partnership that's going on, because we have the seventh house partners, and the seventh house deals with contracts, not only in marriage contracts, but also in business contracts. I feel like this is like a very big businessy reading. Some of it is relationship though, because it could also be, like I said, some of you are just going to get freaky in the sheets. Okay. And that's just a reiteration of that right here with the seventh house partners. But just really, really make sure you're taking the time to read the fine print, please. Spirit is like, I want to help you avoid this mess. Really pay attention to it. And with Pisces, I feel like you just need to believe more in yourself right now. I feel that even kind of like what I was just talking about, how many of you have maybe had to make decisions that aren't totally in alignment with you because of survival mode or trying to make ends meet. And now you're being given the freedom to manifest things so much easier and quicker. And this kind of gets into like the realm of the 5D, the 4D, the 5D coming from the 3D. And if you're not into that kind of stuff, like just know maybe this part of the message isn't for you. But when we talk about the 5D, manifestation becomes a lot faster. It's easier, it's faster, and it comes from you feeling more joy, being your most authentic self and shining your brightest, and just believing that it's already yours. So moving on from there, we also have the Queen of Fire. Ooh, that's a fun card. Beautiful. And we also have the Five of Fire. Oh my. Okay, so this Five of Fire, I'm going to be real with y'all. I feel like in this deck in particular, this Five of Fire is kind of my saucy card. Like, I just got to say it. It's kind of my saucy card. I mean, look at it. There's like two guys. They're looking at each other with some real intensity, if you know what I'm saying. So some of you really are about to get some, okay? But with the Queen of Fire, I do feel that many of you, you're not believing how powerful you are. The Queen of Fire, or you are, it's one or the other. Either you are believing you are so powerful, you're feeling very confident in your decisions, but maybe you need to stop and slow down a little bit. Or it's quite the opposite. You're not feeling like you're in your Queen of Wands energy. You're not feeling confident and powerful. And instead, you're letting others like sap your energy from you. And that's kind of what this Five of Fire to me is representing, if it's not the other thing that I said. This Five of Fire is really coming out with like you're letting other people just take you down a peg. And in turn, it's causing you to make decisions that aren't in your best interest. I'm like hearing from Spirit that many of you need to work on not being people pleasers. And unfortunately, many of us that are people pleasers in the world, it's because we started as parent pleasers. And it takes time to undo those things. It's not something you're going to walk away from overnight, but it is in your better interest to walk away from that. And I feel like the devil even kind of talks about that, of feeling chained and shackled to a certain way of being in life when you don't have to be that way. It doesn't have to. You can do things that serve you and your highest good and your interest without having to constantly consider everyone around you. And especially those people that are your colleagues or business associates or people that you like idolize almost. Now we also have for you the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. And then we also have trust your path. And trust your path says, if you know you would be supported, what would you do? That's literally what I just said. I don't read these cards before I like spread them out and read them for you. So that's literally what I just said. If you knew you would be supported, I mean, I said financially, but even in all ways, what would you do with your time? This is really a call to action. Spirit is saying, I want you to live your most thrived, fulfilled life, but you need to tell me what you want. And the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold, I'm getting goosebumps as I'm saying this. Many of you are about to cross through like a point in your life where everything is going to be up-leveling. Everything is going to be changing, and you have choices. You have the ability to continue the path that you're on and not consider new things, or you have the power to make changes that are in highest alignment with you. And this candle is flickering as I'm talking about it. Which usually lets me know that like a spirit guide or somebody is coming through, or sometimes it's multiple that like are trying to be like, yes, listen to what she is saying. And then lastly, I did ask for a few notes of self-care for you at this time that would help you really connect to this message and take time to ask yourself what it means for you as an individual. And we have, so some of these, it's going to be like one thing. Some of these you might want to do all three, totally your call. But we have watch a movie. Love this card. Maybe the movie is going to give you like some insight. It's going to help you turn new wheels in your mind that you hadn't considered. There's also a cat here. Maybe you just need to cuddle your cat. There's also a cat in this card. We also have take a walk. So maybe just clear your head. Maybe this reading has like been really on point for you and you need some time to let it kind of marinate. So take a walk. And then lastly, we also have alone time. So just spending time with yourself. I feel like that's also kind of the like a big point of this reading is just spend some time with yourself right now, especially with Divine Feminine. I feel like that is definitely the energy of being, I wouldn't say alone because obviously the Divine Feminine gathers, but I do feel like when you're more in your Divine Feminine, it's easier to kind of slip back into yourself, ground yourself here, be with you, tend to you. And I think ultimately, some of you, I think, are asking yourselves, man, what do I want? And I feel like for many of you, you need to sit and figure that out. The Hanged Man is actually here to bless you. The Hanged Man is here to say, put yourself on hold for now and just consider all the options. Consider what you could have and believe that it's already yours because it is. And whatever this situation is with the devil, it's here because you are meant to know that there's a different way. There's a different way for you. It doesn't have to be what you've experienced. It can be changed. And Spirit wants you to know that. So that is what I have for you, pile number one. I hope this was helpful. I hope it really helps you out on your path. Do not forget to claim your blessing here, your intention. And please, please, please follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Kloee Taylor. If the reading resonated, you may also, if you feel called to, it's never an expectation, but I do have links for tips down below. I do accept tips for my readings, Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal. Again, it's never an expectation. I don't do this because I expect something from you, but it is always appreciated. I pour everything back into what I have here. We actually just purchased this new deck across the top because of all of you, so thank you so much to those of you that have. And if you like any of the decks you see here today, I also link them down below in the order that they appear. And that is everything, pile number one. Please remember that when you stand up in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. I love you so much, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye. Hello, pile number two, and welcome to your message you need to hear right now reading. Before we jump into the cards, I always like to start with a little bit of an intention candle. So if you chose pile number two, you chose a yellow candle, and yellow actually represents the element of air. So we could also correspond this to the air signs of the zodiac. That is going to be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We stan. Yellow also represents communication because of that element of air. So many of you might be wanting to set an intention for a text message, a phone call, having some clear communication, especially now that we have Mercury direct, thank goodness. You also might find that you are an air sign or have major air placements. Now, you do not have to go off of any of those things that I have just mentioned. You can choose any intention that you want, any person, place, physical item, money, whatever it is that you want to set intention for to bring into your life. It could also just be like a feeling that you want to have more of. And let's go ahead and put both of our hands over our heart center together once you have that intention, because if you did not know, love is the highest vibrational frequency that we as humans can attune ourselves to. So when we put our hands over our heart and connect our intention to that heart space, that just makes it that much more intense, that much more, it like attracts it to you faster. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath on that intention together now. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and light this candle for you. Ooh, she was a big flame. I know I had the lighter with me, but I've never seen that happen. This was a big flame. So many of you have some big intentions. It might have also felt like a smaller intention, but I feel like it's going to come in lightning quick for you, like within the next few days potentially. And it just, whatever your intention is, like don't put yourself in a box with that intention. That one was intense. The flame is still relatively large. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the cards say, pile number 2. So first and foremost for you, pile number 2, we do have the 8 of Swords. Actually, let me move this. Sorry. Gosh, all this air energy coming into this reading. Y'all got me moving faster than I should. Let's move this over here. But we do have the 8 of Swords. We have the 3 of Wands. We have the 5 of Cups. Actually, let's kind of space these out a little better. And we also have the Valet of Blades, which is the Page of Swords. So I think it's valet or valet. I think it's valet. This is a new deck to me. But what I'm really getting first and foremost is with all of the blade or sword energy that we have, this definitely is about communication. And I feel like many of you are feeling like you cannot speak your piece or speak your truth. Like somebody has maybe silenced you a little bit. And I'm getting this energy of like, people aren't listening to you and what you have to say, and it's really discouraging and disheartening. And it actually leads to less mature conversations, because what is going to happen, or what maybe has happened, is because you have had this element of silence going on, you haven't been speaking your truth outward. With this Valet of Blades, this card is really, to me, about immature conversation where we maybe don't speak as our best selves. We just kind of speak things into the void. It's kind of like a volcano, like under the surface, and then when it erupts, it just explodes. And I feel like that's kind of what you're moving towards. So be careful, or maybe you're the person that has silenced someone else and not let them speak their piece. I have been on both ends of that spectrum myself, so I get it. But I'm really feeling that right now, Spirit wants you to know that this is something that can be avoided. This is something that you can speak your truth. You maybe just need to speak it to the right people. Maybe there are people that the people that have maybe silenced you, they're just not in a place with their life experiences, who they are and where they've been, to be able to hold that space for you to speak. And in reality, it really isn't everyone's job to hold space for each other. It would be nice in a world of peace. That would be great. But sometimes people do not have the mental capacity to hold space because they don't give that grace to themselves. So they don't even know how to give it to someone else. So I feel like I'm really getting this, like, you maybe have been trying to say something to someone specific and they just don't want to hear it. And it might be better to speak to somebody that is willing or able at this time to hold that space and kind of put this conversation on hold. Maybe even manifest for you the conversation going smoother, or maybe manifesting them coming to you, because I feel like you're at kind of the breaking point where you're going to explode. And with the 3 of Wands here, I feel like ultimately it's very pure intentioned, whatever this communication is, because the 3 of Wands to me says that, like, you see better for this relationship. You ultimately want better for this relationship. And it's not, you're not sitting here wanting to condemn and have like damnation between you and this person. I feel like there's maybe been some contention, and ultimately you want it to be better. And you see it being better, and you feel like, oh my gosh, but this person just won't talk to me, won't open up. You need to give them space and time, is really what I'm hearing. If they are meant to be a permanent fixture in your life and a part of your life, they will come to you. I feel like there's been a lot of like force. And because you haven't allowed them to open up to you in their own time, it's creating more problems. It's creating more frustration, more heartbreak, more uncertainty. And both of you are just assuming things about each other instead of actually having real conversations. So I don't know who this person is or what is going on, but ultimately let them come to you. And also know that your words are valuable. Your truth does deserve to be heard. I feel like we also need to kind of gas you up a little bit, because when I see this 8 of Blades, this is really about someone that just really feels like they're trapped, like they can't speak their truth, they can't say things. And maybe that's how you have been led to feel, but it's all in your mind. It's you have the capacity to say, do, be, feel whatever you need and want to. Just know that with this person right now maybe isn't the best time. But you as a person, you are worthy of being seen, heard, and felt. Please know that. It doesn't matter what the situation is or what you're going through. You have value. And even if this person isn't seeing it, you have to start to see it in yourself first. It's this, we talked about paradoxes a little bit in pile number 1 as well, but it's very paradoxical, which I don't even know if is a word, but it's a paradox. It's the more you want the thing, the slower and less likely it is to come. You have to kind of give it to yourself first. You have to know, hey, my words have power. I can speak. I can be this person. I can say what I need to say. And then people will start to listen, because ultimately we are energy before we are actually physical people. And when you give off this frequency of, I don't feel empowered or strong in my words, other people, even if they don't know it's happening, energetically pick up on that energy. And they'll be like, oh, this person doesn't take themselves seriously, so why should I take them seriously? And it creates this big paradox. Like, you have to give it to you first. Even if you have to start talking to yourself in the mirror, like, do it. Do that. Because I really feel like this has created a lot of frustration in your life. Now, we also have for you the earth element of stability. We also have Saturn, the truth. Ooh, I like that. And we have South Node, life's debts. Okay, so whoever this connection is with you, there is a potential that this is a karmic connection. And I say that because when we talk about the South Node and life's debts, we come in with a North Node purpose, but you cannot talk about the North Node in astrology without talking about the South, because they are always polar opposites. It doesn't matter whose chart you're looking at. They always oppose each other. And your South Node is where you've come from, either early in this life or in a past life. It's debts that you have carried into this life that need to be paid, basically, in some way or another. And so this relationship, or even just this conversation, could be a part of that karmic debt. And you getting to kind of thrive and be the person that you are and speak your truth, the moment you unlock that potential for yourself, because it's all about you. Like, it's not, nobody else is going to give you that freedom to speak. You have to give it to you. And so with that, that's what's going to unlock it, is when you start to give yourself permission. And it takes time, especially if you've come into this life being silenced by everybody around you. You have to kind of build that confidence and strength. Now, with Saturn, the truth, please know that the truth is always going to set you free. You also might be you should look, if you are into astrology, look at where Saturn is in your chart. Some of you might be going through a Saturn return. If you have Saturn in sidereal, I believe it will be in the sign of Capricorn. And in tropical, you would be, if you're going through your Saturn return, you would be a Saturn in Aquarius. I am currently in my Saturn return, so we can be best friends, going through craziness. But with having the truth here, the truth always will set you free. And Saturn is daddy lessons in planetary systems. When we talk about astrology, Saturn is like father of lessons. Like, I'm going to make you work for it, but I will reward you at the end. So this is going to be a rewarding process. Even if it's hard right now, that's very typical Saturn energy of, it's going to be hard right now, but if you persevere over this hump, you're going to be really, truly free at the other end of it. And then with the earth element stability, for some of you, I've heard that maybe this is like a lifelong romantic partner, and this could even be your second Saturn return. Some of you aren't going through a Saturn return. Saturn is just like, Saturn still affects everyone, even if it's not hitting your return point. But with the earth element stability, I feel like maybe this is somebody you've relied on for stability. They could be an earth sign, or you could be an earth sign, which is going to be Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Oh my gosh, how am I going to forget Virgo? Like 90% of my friends are Virgos. But that definitely could be where the earth energy is coming in. And also, interestingly enough, with numerology, I don't know why I felt the need to note this, but Spirit was like, hey, look at that. We have number 38, which actually condenses down to 11, and you don't condense 11 because 11, 22, and 33 are all numbers of mastery. So this is something that once you overcome this obstacle, Spirit wants you to know that you will become like masterful at communicating and speaking your truth. This is happening for a reason. And that's a beautiful thing, even when it's really hard. Now we also have for you the 9 of water. I'm just deciding where I want to put these. Do I want to put them here? I'll put them here. We have the 9 of water, and we also have the 7 of water. Ooh, okay. So both of these cards are very beautiful because they both really speak on this divine feminine aspect. And we actually talked a lot about the divine feminine in pile number 1. I'm actually getting a lot of pile number 1 throughout this reading. So some of you, if you felt drawn to 1 and 2, definitely go back and watch number 1. But I feel like both these cards are very feminine energy because we have the 7 of water is all about letting life kind of flow through you effortlessly, finding joy in the small things, and really just letting life be this beautiful cosmic dance. And the 9 of water is very much about, this is not the 9 of water. This is the 9 of earth. I'm wondering if any of you are water placements, though, and that's why that's coming through. Could be. But we do have this 9 of earth, and the 9 of earth is really about reaping what you sow. And it's also about like getting to explore and experience life's richness. So I feel like what you're really being given is from this experience. It's not just going to be you will have a better sense of self and communication and who you are from this, but you're going to be happier because this thing happened. And it's very like you're going to be stepping into the power of joy, the power of feeling really in yourself. It's bringing you back to yourself. Like I'm really hearing like your higher self really wants to be like merged more with you. And that's what this is going to bring to you. Your higher self wants to come through and really allow you to just like, when you think about yourself as like your best self, that's really what I'm getting from this is like you are moving into a place where you will thrive as an individual, feeling really in your body, really in your skin, really in who you are and feeling powerful there. And I feel like that's maybe an experience that you have never had. And if you've never had that experience, like this is going to be a whole new world for you. So beautiful energy. We also have for you, you're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. Ooh. So we just talked about the north and south node. So I feel like this also really parrots that energy of keep facing your true north. Keep doing what you need to do for you and stop being concerned what other people think of you. Because it's really also coming through that there's this like, I need to control how this other person sees me and thinks about me. But ultimately, what they think of you, you will never be able to control. No matter how much you want to, you will never be able to control it because you can't be in their head changing things. They could have a totally different perception of you that's not even you, and it probably isn't. Even if this is somebody you've spent your whole life around, nobody will ever know you better than you know you. So just keep doing what you got to do for you. And we also have no, wait, postpone, pause, say no. I'm telling y'all, go back and watch pile number 1 because we also had the hanged man in pile number 1. And that talked a lot about like putting yourself on pause. But I feel like some of you have also maybe felt like you're getting to like the boiling point of the volcano that we talked about. And with that, just say no. You don't have to feed into that energy. Even if the other person is bringing something to the table that isn't very nice, you can say no. It's hard. It is so hard in the moment when somebody is pushing all of your buttons to turn around and say nothing, or just say, I don't want to talk about this right now. But you have the power. And ultimately, look at this like storm that is just brewing in this card. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's like you have the power to totally turn your back on that storm and walk away. Not your circus, not your monkeys is really what I'm hearing. And then for the end of this reading, I also asked Spirit what kind of self-care you could give yourself through this process. And so this might be everything. You might want to do all three. You might want to only do one thing. It just really depends on what you feel connected to. But we have connect with the earth. So this is going to be about, going for a walk, taking yourself outside, meditating outside, putting your feet on grass. We also have write a gratitude list. So write the things out that you're really thankful for in your life right now, because from that, only better things will come. So if this is a relationship that's really stressing you out, think about the good relationships you have and say, Spirit, more of this, please. And then we also have drink tea. Oh my goodness, that's funny. I have a cup of tea right here with me. I'll have some tea with you. Look, I have my cup of tea right here in this little canister. And my tea, I'll give you an extra message today because I feel called to. My tea bag says, may all that have suffered be free from suffering. So I also feel like this is really going to set you free from suffering. I think you've suffered a really long time in maybe the way you communicate with others. And this is really going to put that to rest. You're up leveling. So I love this for you, pile number 2. Please do not forget to claim your blessing. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram. And if you like this, I do post new pick-a-cards every week, twice a week. So please make sure to hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. If you like any of the cards you see here today, they are all linked down below in the order they appear. And if you feel called to, it is never an expectation, but always appreciated. I do accept tips for my readings. All the links are down below: Cashapp, Venmo, PayPal. Again, I don't expect that. I don't do this because I expect that from you. But if you feel called to and the reading resonated, I sure do appreciate it. And I love you all so, so much. I hope your communications are blessed. I hope they go well. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye. Hello there, my beautiful pile number 3, and welcome to your message you need to hear right now reading. If you chose this pile, you chose the blue candle, and blue candles actually represent the element of water. We can also attach this to a water signs in the zodiac. This is going to be Cancer, Pisces, as well as, who am I forgetting? Scorpio, duh. Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. And so you might be one of those signs. You might want to attract one of those signs. It also corresponds to your emotions, your emotional well-being, and I think I said the element of water. So what I would like you to do right now while we set this up is go ahead and place both of your hands over your heart center, because love is the highest vibrational frequency that we as humans can attune ourselves to. So when you set an intention of something you want to bring into your life, really connecting it with your heart chakra energy or your heart energy actually helps bring that manifestation into you. And it really helps you feel those emotions and feel through it. So go ahead and think of something you want to bring into your life. It doesn't have to correspond to anything I just said. It can be literally anything. You don't have to go based off of the candle color. It can be anything you want: a person, a place, a thing, a feeling, a text message, whatever it is that you want to call in right now, something grandiose or something really simple. And let's go ahead and just take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth on that intention. Oh, that felt really good. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and light this candle. And what that's going to do is send your intention out into the universe and allow it to make its way back to you. So I do feel that this flame, it's looking like it's not huge. No, it's getting pretty big, actually. It's growing relatively quickly. It's pretty dead center. The flame itself is, I don't know how to explain it. I would almost need like a close-up shot. But the flame itself is kind of like petering off at the edges, like it's a little bit split. So I'm wondering if maybe you are manifesting more than one thing, which is totally okay, and setting intention for more than one thing, which is absolutely okay. You can set intention for as many things as you would like to. But I would say that your intention is going to be coming in not like tomorrow, but more like probably within the next couple of weeks, because the candle flame does seem pretty strong. So we're going to go ahead and just set this off to the side. Sometimes the candle flames interact with the reading, and when they do, I try my best to call attention to it. But let's go ahead and see what the cards have in store for you, pile number 3. So right off the bat, we have the 10 of Wands. We have the 6 of Swords, or the 6 of Blades in this deck. We have the 7 of Blades. And we also have the 4 of Wands. Okay, many of you just need to take a chill pill. And I mean that very seriously. Many of you need to just relax. I feel like you are carrying the weight of the world, because the 10 of Wands is all about carrying a lot. You're carrying the weight of the world. You're carrying a lot of projects. You're carrying a lot of people, maybe a lot of stress. And the 4 of Wands really tells me that you need to slow down and let yourself rest, because you're going to burn out, especially if you are in a creative endeavor. You're going to burn out on that creative endeavor if you don't slow down just a little bit. I also feel that with the 6 and 7 of Blades here, the 6 of Blades, I mean, I feel that okay, first and foremost, sword cards, or blade cards in this case, always correspond to communication. And so maybe you just need to kind of like drink some tea, slow down with using your voice so much. You've been using it a lot lately. In terms of communicating with others. But the 7 of Swords often speaks on betrayal as well, but I feel like this is very self-betrayal. It's not that somebody else has betrayed you. I feel like you're not listening and being in tune, with your own body and what you're feeling. And because you're not stopping to listen to that, that's what's causing all of these like extra emotions to bubble at the surface and make you feel very, very, very weighed down. And the 6 of Swords, I feel like with this, I'm really just getting this the 6 of Swords to me it's for some reason I'm hearing something about routines. I feel like this card, it wants me to kind of deviate from the traditional meaning, which is why I feel like I'm stumbling over it. I feel like there's something about your routines and how you need to kind of reformulate them right now, because I feel like you've set out to do a lot. So you're carrying a lot, whether this is in work, home, family, like you've kind of told yourself that you have to do it all and do it well and do it without complaining. And ultimately it's causing you to be more frustrated with people around you and more frustrated with yourself. So it's time to kind of slow down a little bit, be a little bit easier on yourself, and allow yourself that ability to just not be so hard. I feel like ultimately it's you like started something new and kind of started moving. Sorry, there's a garbage truck going by. Also, maybe you just need to take out the trash, I'm hearing. Maybe that's why that we had that kind of happen just now. But I feel like you kind of set out on this new journey recently, and you're at like a really great point in that journey, whether it's self-discovery or something that you're creating yourself. You've done a lot, and you need to kind of stop and celebrate that win, because it's like you reach a certain point, you reach a goal, and you're like, oh, this is so great. This is so lovely. I love this for me. And then like 2 seconds later, you're like, okay, back to the drawing board. How do I get farther? And instead, Spirit is really saying, slow down, appreciate where you are, give yourself a pat on the back, take some time out for you to really celebrate how far you've come, because you're on the precipice of a burnout. And if you don't catch it while you're ahead, it's going to really stop you from being able to journey ahead faster or in the way you want to, because you're eventually what happens when you don't rest in between periods of work and do. You have to, if you don't take this like period of rest, it will catch up with you. It will catch up with you in the sense that it will just happen later and you'll become so exhausted you'll have to take several days off or several weeks off or months off because it will snowball. So just really make sure that you're tending to yourself during this time. Spirit is like very adamant that you need to rest. So we also have for you Libra, balance or I balance. We also have the 11th house, friends. And I wish I had said that earlier. I hate it when that happens, when Spirit gives me a message and I don't blurt it out right then. This happened, I think, on another recent pick a card that I did. If I don't blurt it out right then, it tends to come out later. And then we also have Uranus, genius. So I feel like what Spirit is really trying to convey, I said, or I was about to say earlier with this 11th house especially, is that you can give your grievances not to someone else, but you can ask if somebody else has the space to just be present with you and to listen to what you're going through, or just to like let a friend lend an ear to you. I feel like you're being asked to kind of rely on friends or close family members to just kind of hear you. You just need to kind of voice what you've been going through. Maybe you're somebody that like really likes to be really bright and bubbly and positive, but you're not allowing yourself the space to also air your grievances. And we need to let those things out, because if we don't, we'll just hold on to them. So with this 11th house, friends, I feel like you do have people that want to support you, and you just need to let them. Now, we also have a Libra, I balance, and I feel like this is about creating more balance in your life. What are you working so hard for? Are you working hard so that you can enjoy more balance in your life eventually? Because I feel like what I'm hearing from Spirit is eventually is never going to come. You're going to keep working yourself. So you have to start creating that balance now in the moment. And something else, Libra, I balance is card number 19, which goes to 10. In numerology, it becomes a 10, and then 10 becomes 1. So I do feel, though, that I really want to focus on 10, because with the number 10 here and the 10 of wands, like, this is like the grand culmination of something. So you've hit a really big peak once again, and it's time to just kind of let yourself enjoy that peak. It doesn't mean that you can't pick back up and go up the next peak, because you will. It just says, enjoy this peak where you are before you continue on. So with Uranus genius, I also feel like you might feel that you have a very fast-paced mind. You're someone that is just moving very quickly, and that's what you're used to. It might even be hard for you to slow down because you're just go, 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 go. But also with Uranus can be really unexpected change in your daily routines, in things that you do. Sometimes this can be a really welcome change. Right now, I want to say that Uranus is in the sign of Taurus, and it will be for the next while. And with that, with Uranus being in Taurus, this is like very much in the earthly plane. It's also, Taurus is our sign of loyalty, stability, I would argue. And I feel that when we have shakeups in that, we have to kind of rest from the catastrophe. We have to rest from the things that are causing the upset. So just be aware of that. We also have for you, this one came out reversed too. I don't usually, I read reversals a lot in private. I very rarely do them on this channel. I don't know why. There's no reason for me not to. I know how. I feel like I just shy away from it. I think it's because maybe I think that some people don't like that. They don't like the reverse meanings, but I feel like many of you, it makes the reading so much more complex. So we have the reverse self card, and we have the 4 of water, and this is all about self-image. Oh my goodness. Many of you are struggling with your own image of self. You don't think that you can achieve better because you think you're not pretty enough, or you think you're not beautiful enough, or people will not admire or adore you. You put yourself in a box because you can't see that every part of you is beautiful. And I say that because the self card being reversed, number one, this is about getting out of your own way. Number two, with with the Four of Water, this is all about celebrating your imperfections, celebrating the parts of you that maybe we've been conditioned in society to say, that's not beautiful, it's not worth anything, I'm not worth anything, when in reality, you are more capable, more smart, more beautiful, and gorgeous than any other person on the planet, because we all carry this beautiful light, and you are light and energy before you are anything else. So please know, if nobody has told you that, you are beautiful. And I know it can be hard to believe because, like I said, we've been told, we've probably had figures in our life that also have talked badly about their looks and their appearance, but you are beautiful. Who says? Who says that you're not? Don't listen to those people. So this is all about self. I feel like Spirit is really trying to convey the message that, like, you need to just take some time out for you to boost your own self-esteem, but also to get out of your own way. You are in your own way right now. Now we also have for you the card Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. And we also have Imrama, which is, where are you being called to journey to? So I feel like many of you want to kind of tap more into spiritual elements of life. You want to be more in tune with your spiritual side, but you're not allowing yourself to be still to hear it. You're like, oh my gosh, how do you might be somebody that like really wants to know more about connecting with your guides, your archangels, your angels, spirit guides, etc. But it's like you're waiting for somebody else to give you the rule book on how to do it, when in reality, all you have to do is quiet yourself down and allow yourself to sit with it. Do the thing that maybe feels uncomfortable and just sit with it. You are being guided at every moment of every day. There is synchronicity. Things are happening. And with Imrama, it's hard to say, Imrama, where are you being called to journey? You will know when it's time to take the next step because your guidance is divinely guided. And then I also asked Spirit for you for just some little self-care things that you could do to really connect with yourself more. And I feel like you, more than any other pile that we did today, really needs to hear like the self-care messages, because I feel like you've been really overworked. But this could be do all three, do one of them, do two of them. We have 3 different suggestions. So the first thing you can do for self-care is actually get a health checkup. Now, I know right now the world is kind of crazy. You might not want to go out and get a health checkup, but I promise many things are able to be done online at this point. So if you have the privilege of, having healthcare, please use it. Please use that healthcare. Please get your health checkups. Make sure that you're good. We also have create art. If you've ever been interested in like drawing, painting, especially because this shows painting, calligraphy, writing, anything with your hands and like paintbrushes or pens, I'm hearing, really get into creative work. Or like, maybe even bullet journaling, I'm hearing, is like something some of you might want to do, but create something. And then last, we also have a burning bowl ritual. And I like this. And actually, if you didn't see it, I did a whole video on my full moon ritual last month that showed a little bit of a burning ritual in it. So if you're curious about that, I kind of have a little bit of instruction there. But, write down things that you don't feel like you are. Maybe somebody told you you're not pretty and you've carried that. Maybe somebody told you you're not worthy and you've carried that, or you're not smart enough, intelligent enough, or whatever it might be, and you've just carried that into your life and you're holding on to something that isn't even yours. Write those things down and burn them. Obviously, be safe. If you're underage and shouldn't be handling fire, make sure you have like a parent with you. I don't want to hear no parents coming to my channel and being like, my child burned down our house. None of that. So please be safe if you are playing with fire. And that is all I have for you, pile number 3. Please do not forget to claim your blessing. Let me know how you feel about the reading down below. And if you like any of the cards that you see here today, they're all linked down below in the order that they appear. It was kind of a bigger reading today. And also the candles too. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. And if you feel called to do so, it is never an expectation, but it is always appreciated. I do have links to tip me for my readings, Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal. Again, Again, I don't expect it from you. I don't do this because I expect it. But if you feel called to do so, I certainly appreciate it. And please remember that when you stand up in your own authenticity, you empower everyone around you to do the same. I love you so much, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.